Hello and welcome to Friday Double Bill. This is the show where we review the top Friday releases from both Hollywood and Bollywood. Well, we don't just review these films, we also look at the OMG or the Oh My God moments, and we arrive at a movie verdict so you can decide, or at least we'll tell you, whether we thought the film was a Dekho or Peko at the theatres. Well, let's see if Fahad or I am just as excited about the next release, which is Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
Just another Saturday night.
Power is a fragile thing.
Starring Josh Brolin, Eva Green, Jessica Alba, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Mickey Rourke, Paz Booth, Bruce Willis, Rosario Dawson, and Ray Liotta, Sin City, A Dame to Kill For is the sequel to Roberto Rodriguez and Frank Miller's 2005 hit film Sin City. This largely black and white neo-noir film is the weaving together of graphic novelist Miller's classic stories with new tales where Basin City's most hard-boiled citizens cross paths with some of its more notorious inhabitants.
Sin City's where you go in with your eyes open. Or you don't come out at all.
Well, Sin City 2, as this is of course the sequel of Sin City, which was 9 years ago, and that was not just a hit film, that was in fact a cult film. And one of the things about cult films is that they become critic-proof if the sequels come into the theatres. They become critic-proof not so much because of large audiences, but because of critics themselves. I think it becomes almost blasphemous for us to take on a movie that has such huge cult status, not just among Robert Rodriguez fans, but also among Frank Miller's fans. In fact, even Quentin Tarantino fans, because that's really how it started. The whole structure of the film, the first one, was taken from Pulp Fiction. In that sense, and given the whole hype around it, in my own head, perhaps, I was quite disappointed.
Well, you know, I agree with you, and this is because these are masters of chiaroscuro, you know, the art of playing with light and shadow. And this kind of neo-noir, just incredibly stylized, superb graphic novel, and the fact that they have actually shot this in 3D adds a completely new dimension, depth, in a truly third dimension to this novel. So cinematically, technologically, it's just an incredible leap. Roberto Rodriguez has shot it, he's edited it, he's obviously co-directed it. Frank Miller is a terrific graphic artist, but he has some really poor lines, some really corny lines. This is third-rate sort of Mickey Spillane, Raymond Chandler writing. So, you know, that was a huge failing. I was very disappointed. And given that this is black and white film, there are not very many gray characters, you know. They're basically just either black or white, you know.
Well, talking of OMG or Oh My God moments from a book or a graphic novel, which I think is really a children's book for adults. And in fact, I think graphic novels are really written for adults who don't read books. Now, when you're adapting something like that, quite clearly the whole point of it is a series of OMG moments, and there are quite a few of them, and those shootouts and the blood spilling out. I have also a strange suspicion that we missed out on some great ones purely because of the censor board in this country, and I think purely as a mark of protest, we should not get into the ones that we saw. We should go and watch the ones that we couldn't.
Exactly. I think this is where I concur completely with you. The fact that, you know, the censor board, last week we saw November Man, 5 minutes of the film had actually been left on the cutting floors. This week with this film, and you know, one must be able to watch films in their entirety the way that the filmmaker intended to do. We're watching sort of really mercilessly hacked, even more mercilessly hacked than some of the ninja killers in this film of ours. But there you have it. So I hope they really end up sort of sorting out these problems with the censors, and we get a slightly more informed, mature way of dealing with movies.
About time, seriously. Well, a film like this is really more of an experience, to be honest with you, Fahad, than a film in that sense, in a narrative sense of the word. And you know, you're obviously blown away by the novelty of the experience if you haven't seen Sin City. But Sin City 2, in that sense, after a point in time, I thought until, you know, about the first 45 minutes or so, it was quite riveting as a plot. But, you know, it left me cold by the end of the film. So far as I'm concerned, and especially given that we don't even know what we missed out in this film, I would say theater par mat dekho, shayad DVD par dekho, shayad computer par dekho, it might be a better experience.
You know, Mayank, I share your dismay but I still believe this film has to be seen in the theaters, particularly because the 3D adds such a huge element. By all means, watch the original film on DVD, then go out and watch this. Understand what is being done in the world of cinema, the kind of technological advancements that have happened, and then decide for yourself whether you're a fanboy or whether this is all worthy of a full-on pico.
Well, that was Friday Double Bill for you. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Write to us, give us your feedback, not just about the show, but also about the movies you watched this weekend.